Before we get into flashlights, ask me if I'm gonna go see Shang-Chi. And then I'll be like, girl, I'm going tonight. Are you kidding me? I can't wait for this to be over.
I think we're supposed to be live.
Oh, are we?
Oh wait, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute to everybody who's watching.
If you're watching, you get to see the first few glimpses of us before we go live at TGN. So, and what's popping? What's live? What's good? Ding, 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 ding. Okay, and I've got this on.
Live.
This thing on?
We're always on.
Speaking of on, Sharik, what you want to talk about today?
I want to talk about everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Everything? What
So
does that
much.
include?
Just so much we get to talk about today.
Okay, you know what? Let's turn some lights on and we're going to talk.
Let's get it.
Step into the limelight. Go.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah.
Shout out to Miku who's in the studio for the theme song Limelight Live. Thank you all for being here. It is should I put on my like extra sensual voice? Thank you
Yeah.
all for being here. You are now watching Limelight Live
Lama
on the Good
la.
News Radio. We are here every Thursday from 8:30 to 9:30 or until we're done with our banter.
Right.
Make sure you are catching us on the Good News Radio app and website as well as on LeMayday.com.
Ow.
I am your girl Sharique LeMay and my wonderful, wonderful hostess with the mostest.
J Pin, you already know what it is. J Pin K. J Pin K.
Follow him at JPinNotes.
Yes, you know.
Shout out to Crybaby XCA who says y'all cute and whatever.
Oh, come on, cry
Thank
baby.
you.
Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you and
Thank
thank you. We
you.
love reading our comments. So listen, we're gonna give you a good show. Trust me.
Yes, today's about all the banter. We just,
Mm-hmm.
it's a new month. It's September. Happy September, everybody. Shout
Happy
out to the
September.
Virgos.
Yeah, I'm rocking my chain, Virgo,
Virgo Nation.
Yeah. We're gonna do something very unique this episode. We were kind of, I don't want to say struggling, but we were trying to think of what topics we wanted to talk about this week and what our spotlight was going to be. But there's so much going on in the world, so many different creative news, pop culture events, and social events that we were like,
Facts.
what if we did an entire episode on our flashlights? And
Right.
so then Sharik was like, ooh, lights off. And I was like, wait, no, lights on. So this is officially the first ever lights on week where we're going to talk nothing but flashlights. I mean, any and everything, and a lot is going on, from hurricanes to scams to scandals
Mhm.
to promotions to good things, bad things. It doesn't matter, but that's what we're talking about this week, and I'm really excited.
I am too. And make sure if you do want to join in on our banter, you are calling into the radio station. We'll be more than happy to answer your call
Yep.
and bring you on. It is 323-900-0478. If you want to talk to us and enjoy this conversation, because we got a lot to talk about, a
We do.
wide range of things
Oh yes.
to discuss.
Oh yes.
So, I'm ready for it.
I'm ready too. I'm ready too. So please, by all means, call in, talk to us. Um, Before we get into that,
Yeah.
something really exciting is happening
What is that?
today.
Oh boy.
Tonight.
I know you are so well.
For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do, you know me. I'm a Marvel nerd, and Shang-Chi officially comes out tomorrow, but it came out tonight actually. So several movie theaters are already playing it in theaters. I have my ticket. I will be heading straight to AMC Theater in Burbank right
Right
after
after
this
this.
show. So I could go watch Shang-Chi, which I've heard some great reviews about. I've read nothing but positive things from pre-screeners.
Mhm.
So I'm really excited, and Marvel MCU, that's me all day. So
So is this another one of those we have to pay $30 to watch it at home
no,
situations?
this is theaters only. They did not do
Oh,
a Disney Plus streaming thing.
they
So
they did you okay.
you see,
Okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, but here we are.
That's how they do it. Well, I'm
Here.
excited for it because this will be the first, Asian American lead,
Mm-hmm.
for a Marvel cast, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I like the actor because I watch him on that show, Kim's Convenience on Netflix.
Oh, you.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that show. So he's a good actor. I never imagined him playing this type of role, but
Yeah.
I watched some, snippets of the training process and everything that he went to.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'll check it out when it comes to Disney Plus.
Okay. Anyways, being that this is this is our lights on week.
Mhm.
We figured it would be cool to have some banter with a friend. We love having guests on our show.
All the time.
So my homie, he's a photographer, he's an actor, he's also co-creator and host of My Two Black Friends podcast.
Us,
And
me? No, I'm sorry. Okay. I had to do that. I had to do that.
and I just love him to death. He's my homeboy. He's also from New Orleans, just like me. We go way back. We go back to high school. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Dustin.
What's up, everybody? I'm so happy to be here.
Yay!
Hey,
Yeah.
Dustin. Dustin is a photographer. What else do you do?
I'm doing. I mean, I do too much. I feel
Not
like
too much.
sometimes, but yeah, photography, acting, writing. I write music sometimes.
Nice.
I'm all over the place, but that's why LA is home now because there's so many opportunities to like stretch my wings in different lanes.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Where are you from originally?
From New Orleans.
Oh, okay. Did
Yeah.
y'all know each other before?
We've known each other since senior year of high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we go way back. We didn't go to the same school, but
Oh, okay.
our circles
I was
kind
about
of.
to say, was he?
Yeah,
was he with the nerds or was he with the cool kids? I had to ask.
Our circles crossed. Actually, our church group circles crossed.
Yeah.
So that was
Y'all was on the choir.
No, it was like the youth groups from our respective churches. Like some
Mm.
of them went to like some of the same schools,
Yeah.
and so we were all kind of like, it wasn't like competitive, but it was like,
but there was two distinct cliques.
yes, two distinct cliques in that realm. And I always thought their clique was cooler.
Oh.
Always, I was like, I wish I went to their church because they're funner.
I don't see too many of that these days.
You
I
know?
was in a youth church group too, way back
Yeah.
in the day, and I just remember that it was like something cool to do on the weekend and outside of
Mhm.
school.
Right.
And it brought a lot of like camaraderie together, and I just
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
having so much fun as a kid.
Yeah,
So-
it had its
Yeah.
moments, but it
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
had its shitty moments.
I'm sure.
Right. I think it was cool because like my mom would let me stay out longer because
She's like, "Oh, you're with her friend from church."
yeah,
Like,
you know, we'd still get into trouble, but we had that shield.
I just
No,
remember
church
going to Halloween events, and then later on in life, like, wait a minute,
Right. It's the same thing. We're doing the same
we
thing.
did,
Right.
we did Halloween.
Hallelujah
events for church. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Fall
That's-
festival.
Right.
Fall festival.
Dress up as your favorite Bible character.
Oh, I definitely was one of the angels when Joseph was in the manger
Okay.
in the front lawn for
Yeah.
hours
Oh.
with my angel wings.
Oh, like the all day event. Wow.
Yeah, they definitely did me like that.
Wow. I remember I did there was one like play we did at church, and I was one of the stars. Like there was like the main star, the North
Mhm,
Star,
the North
whatever.
Star,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was the North Star, but then there was like 3 other stars, and we were like
Competing.
yeah, we were like debating like don't lead the wise. I don't remember the dialogue, but it was the script was really funny, but
Oh, the memories that
Yeah.
shaped our lives.
it was quite the
Yeah.
production.
I did for the church across the street. There was a Spanish church across the street. And I remember singing a solo in Spanish on my birthday
Oh,
back then.
Oh.
You know, it was fun.
Okay.
You know, I was bilingual back then,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah,
Kinda.
yeah, I see you, Dustin.
this gonna have to be a whole episode. The things we did.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yes, I think
It went in
we're gonna
church.
call it throwback.
Seriously.
Throwback. We're gonna call it Lantern.
There we go.
The Lantern Week. Okay, so like I said, this is a full episode of Flashlights, and yeah.
Flashing lights.
That's right. We've got something to talk about. So
Sure
actually,
do.
as we go down memory lane, and Dustin and I both being from New Orleans, obviously, if you don't know, I'm sure everyone does know, but uh, Hurricane Ida
Yeah.
came through Louisiana this past Sunday on the same
16th?
day,
Yeah.
16th anniversary
Yeah.
of Hurricane Katrina,
What?
and the exact same day.
Wow.
And so while New Orleans got some wind damage, they didn't have any flooding in New Orleans. But my hometown, like where my parents live right now, which is a town called Laplace.
Mhm.
Some people say Laplace. It's spelled Laplace, but I mean we say Laplace,
Yeah.
Laplace,
Apply.
depending on where you like,
Mhm.
it got hit the worst. And usually through we kind of survive hurricanes, like we're far enough west from New Orleans, we're not below sea level, it's kind of like in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. It's a
Mhm.
much smaller town, but usually when hurricanes pass we don't sustain that much damage.
Okay.
It's never been as catastrophic as some of the other cities,
Okay.
but this time like we got it the worst. Laplace got it the worst.
Yeah.
I mean there were some parts that had up to 10 feet of water. And because the parish, and for people who don't know what a parish is the same thing as a county. In Louisiana, we just call them parishes. But the parish did not mandate um, an evacuation.
Mhm.
They made it voluntary. So a lot of people stayed, which is why you had so many people who stayed thinking, oh, it's going to be like it always is. We're not going to get it that
Right.
bad. But
Right.
then these floodwaters came that they weren't expecting. And so many people needed to be saved
Yeah.
Wow.
from their attics. Like they were in their attics, they had to break through their roofs to get through. I know my best friend, her aunt was at home and her roof caved in,
Mm.
and they went outside and they weathered the storm in their car because
Wow.
yeah. But
That is so
yeah,
sad.
it was the worst we've ever seen it, I think.
In your particular, so when Hurricane Katrina hit, did it not affect that area?
No,
Okay.
not as
Not as
bad.
bad.
No, yeah, no, we didn't have the flooding. I mean, there was like minor wind damage that year, but it was like, yeah,
And that's the thing about hurricanes, you don't know in which way it's gonna go.
Yeah.
You really don't know. And so yeah, I think in New Orleans in general, I know in Kenner it was like late on evacuation, or they didn't say, hey, they couldn't do a mandatory evacuation because they
Right.
waited too long.
Yeah.
So they would have, but
Mhm.
the city waited too long.
I think they
So couldn't.
underestimated
Yes,
the storm.
they did.
And
They
so,
did.
I mean, but this happens every year. We have a literal, hurricane season. And
Yeah.
so it's like you kind of also have to look at, the capacity for people to evacuate. That costs money.
Yeah.
And there's an infrastructure that isn't created
For
to help that. A lot
Yeah.
of people can't afford to evacuate.
Right.
So I mean that's something that's a discussion that I've seen on Twitter, something that I know to be true. I mean I remember when I was younger and the struggles that we went to consider trying to get out of town.
Exactly.
Could we even afford
Could we afford
to
to
save
do
our
it?
lives?
Exactly.
And so
That's
that's a
crazy.
that's a very big
Mhm.
thing, and it's a very big discussion.
It
And
also ties in gentrification.
Yeah.
Heavily.
absolutely.
Heavily. If you guys watch W. Kamau Bell, he did
Yeah.
a very in-depth, elegant piece about gentrification, and he was like, you know what? We need to have this conversation in New Orleans
Yeah.
because the effects on the city, this whole state after Hurricane Katrina, and just how they rebuilt, but they didn't rebuild it for us,
Right.
Mhm.
and
Right.
it just goes, for lack of a better word, it just goes by the wayside. It goes
Yeah.
undetected, and people aren't talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I haven't been to New Orleans, I haven't been, but my dad goes all the time, and he's like, yeah, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
So I think that's very unfortunate that they take these opportunities, these dreadful opportunities, to create opportunities for themselves.
Yeah.
And
It's sad.
it's disgusting.
Especially when it's so much culture. Like if you go to New
Yeah.
Orleans, it's like the way that people talk, the food,
Yeah.
everything
It's
is
distinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't get it anywhere else. So it's
Yeah.
like, and that's the people. It's not the building. It's not the geographical location. It's the
Mhm.
people that make that happen. And so when this process happens over and over, you lose more of that culture each time.
Yeah. And that's why it's very important for everyone to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super important,
Speak-
especially at the local level.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then
Especially-
for those of you that are in California that have not turned in your ballots yet, please do. You have until September 14th to say no to this ridiculous recall.
Right.
FYI, when you vote no, you don't also need to vote on the other side. Just vote no. Just bubble in no, put your envelope together and take it to the place.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything else but that. So
No.
funny story, by the way.
Well,
Shout out to my bestie Heather, because Heather Collins is on the ballot
oh,
but it's a different Heather Collins.
right. Oh, okay.
And she's also an LA hairstylist. So people have been blowing me up and blowing her up like, is Heather with the Green Party? And she's running for governor.
Where did this come from?
It's just been hilarious. It's been so funny.
This girl does my hair too.
Right. So, you know.
Oh, she
Yeah.
does mine too.
Yeah.
I was like, we should just do like a campaign video for her and just make it work.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, I just thought that was hilarious. But
That
please
is
make sure
funny.
you guys are voting and
Mhm.
knowing who your local officials are, because that matters. You know,
Yeah.
something like this happens in your neighborhood. You want to make sure that you have the right people in place to do what's best for
Definitely.
the people.
Yeah.
What's also crazy is New York is also flooding.
Yeah.
Right now,
Well,
too.
before we move to New York, I want to just first love to Louisiana, pray for
Yes.
Louisiana, and then if you're going to donate, please donate to globalgiving.org. They have a Hurricane Ida relief fund, and what I like about this organization is they specifically work with local organizations to allocate money to the most needed at the local level. So it's not like a Red Cross or something like that.
Right.
Like, no, they work with individual organizations at the
The site.
site. Yeah. And so that's where they
I'm
allocate their
glad
money.
you brought that up too, because I think that's also something that people need to pay more attention to, is
Yeah.
who you're giving your money to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to follow the money. I know we hear do your research a lot lately.
Yeah.
But it's very, very important because a lot of these people be crooks
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
doing shady stuff. So yes, we're definitely praying for everyone in Louisiana, all over the world. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Because then, all right, and I know y'all heard, oh my goodness, I did not, the videos I saw of what's going on in New York.
It's
So,
crazy.
for one, let's point this out right now.
Mhm.
Hurricane Ida hit Louisiana on Sunday and made its way to the northeast and flooded New York yesterday.
Ida ain't playing with y'all.
Ida ain't playing, and neither is global warming.
Right.
Like
No.
climate control. Like, you listen. These are real things.
It's getting worse and worse.
It's getting
Mhm.
worse and worse. That is
Yeah.
insane to me.
So we're dealing with that in New York. And then, of course, in California, we're having all of these wildfires up north
Mhm.
where I'm from. I'm hearing about it. Down here in SoCal, we're hearing about it. I haven't necessarily seen it for myself, but they're basically, air quality warnings are going off the
Yeah.
chain. It's just so crazy. We're living in some really crazy times.
We
Yeah,
are.
we are.
We
right
are.
now.
We are.
And I just saw, I watched Reminiscence,
Uh-huh.
the movie with
Oh,
Hugh Jackman over the week. I won't say too much, but it was really interesting because it's in a time where pretty much global warming just takes over. And
Wow.
humans then have to become nocturnal because it's too hot during the day.
It's a really
I
good movie.
feel
like
I
that
watched
right
it
now.
after you
Yeah.
suggested it.
It's good.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
loved
like
it.
in the whole it's based in Miami, and all of Miami is just completely flooded. So it's like they're in Venice. Like everybody has to get everywhere via boat, or they have to wear rain boots. And I'm like, wow, this is like really a thing that could happen
Yeah.
in the near
In the nearer
future, like
future.
before 2030.
Yeah. And a portion of the movie is actually in New Orleans too.
Shout out.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
It was
I
good.
did
Check
that.
that out. Reminiscence
do
is
wanna see
on
that.
HBO Max.
Yeah,
Yes.
some good movies, but I do see a lot of movies starting to put that into the
Yeah.
storyline.
Mhm.
So we about to be Mad Max out here
Yeah.
somewhere.
And
so we
hopefully
gotta be
that
careful.
sparks some change. Like
Yeah.
people will see that and like, hey, we need to take care of our planet.
Yeah. I think so. And you know what? Not the first, but like I remember when Wally came out from Disney
Yeah.
Pixar.
I never saw it.
You never saw Wally?
never
Oh my
saw
gosh,
it.
incredible
good.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
it's really
mainly
good.
because that movie was about it's post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Um and essentially it's about preservation and
Mm.
trying to save the world through eco. Well, I don't want to give it away for you,
Okay.
but like there's an eco element to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I remember hearing or reading a few articles about that is that because they want kids, since it's a kids movie, they wanted
Mhm.
kids to be aware of that now, so that as they
Mhm.
get older, it's something that's already ingrained.
Mhm.
And I think Wally did an excellent job of
Mhm.
doing that and kind of showing kids what our world could look like
Mm.
at the hands of our own doing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because I'm a Fern Gully baby. Y'all remember Fern
Yes.
Gully?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I'm a
yes.
Fern Gully baby. I
Yeah.
was like, no, save the trees.
Yeah.
Yes, save the
Yeah.
rainforest,
So
So
yeah,
films
I'm
like that are
glad.
important for kids, and yeah, Go watch Wally. What
I'm
is
gonna go
wrong
watch
with you?
Wally.
I know
Everybody
you
go
got.
watch Fern Gully.
I know you got Disney
Right.
Was
Plus.
Fern Gully Disney?
I
What was
think
Fern Gully?
No, Fern Gully
Ooh.
was not Disney. It was
Okay.
something.
It was not.
Sorry.
No.
I feel you. It was debatable because I was with you. I was like, maybe it was, but not.
Yeah, Fern Gully, Land Before Time, all those
Mhm.
movies. Okay, I'm old. Let me
Now
stop.
you want. Now you made me want to look it up. Okay. Also, rest in peace to former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Greg Leaks.
Yeah.
He was the husband to Nene Leaks. He passed today. Yesterday.
Yesterday, I
He
Yesterday.
believe.
passed yesterday
Mhm.
after his battle with colon cancer. He was 66 years old. He died peacefully in his home, surrounded by his loved ones, including Nene, his wife, and his longtime friend and publicist. Um, he went into remission for 2 years,
Which is
and then
amazing.
and then he had to go back. I guess it came back, and so he had some surgery. But it just Nene had announced this past weekend that he is now transitioning, and
Yeah.
so if anything, if I'm a fan of the Real Housewives franchise, particularly Atlanta, and Greg Leaks I think has been one of the most memorable house husbands.
He's the only consistent husband.
This is
Mm.
this is true.
Can I get a?
That's the T.
Uh-huh.
Wait, what? Womp womp? No,
No. Applause for him.
A womp womp for the other
There we go.
husbands.
There we go.
But no, Greg was the night. He was very kind. He will absolutely be missed. So
Prayers out to them.
prayers out to the
Yeah.
family
It's just a heavy
of Greg Leaks and all of his loved ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a
He
year.
will be missed. He will be missed.
Definitely.
Now on to some scandal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know you've heard about this. All right, so Mike Richards, who was the executive producer at Jeopardy and The Wheel of Fortune, he
Right.
was named back a month ago as the new host of Jeopardy.
Mhm.
Well, then some things came up.
Yeah. He had a podcast
Yeah.
many, many, many years ago,
Yeah.
and people went to digging and found out that he was pretty misogynistic towards
Very
his female
misogynistic.
co-host. He said some unfavorable things that may not have, got the horns and the alarms going back then. But of course, it's 2021. We live in cancel
Right.
culture territory,
Right.
so they went and got him. He decided to step down. I don't know if it was a mutual thing between him and the network, or
I think he wanted to get ahead of it. He decided to cancel himself
got it.
before, like he put out a memo to his staff saying that he was stepping down. It was a 9-day tenure. That's all he did was 9 days as the host of Jeopardy before once this stuff came out, he got ahead of it and said, I'm gonna remove myself.
And I'm sure he got a nice severance.
But he was gonna stay on as executive producer. But
That's
then
true.
apparently this week it was reported on Apple News that he was also removing himself as executive producer.
Yeah.
It was reported by People. Yeah.
I think it's unfortunate. I mean, I wasn't excited. I don't watch Jeopardy like that. I
Me
just wanted
either.
LeVar Burton to be the
Yeah.
host. I
Yeah.
think most of us BIPOC people were
Yeah.
wanting LeVar Burton, but I guess they kept saying that they didn't want there to be a host who was bigger than the show or to get more attention than the show.
Wait, where did you read that?
Oh, they've been talking about it. That was the reason why they chose
I
him.
read that LeVar was boring. I don't
No,
watch
he had,
Jeopardy.
he didn't have the best ratings,
Okay.
but there was virality because of him.
Uh-huh.
And I heard he did well.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it's LeVar Burton. I mean, Reading Rainbow guy. I mean,
Was
Alex Trebek wasn't exciting.
I mean, it is
Right.
Jeopardy. How
that's
exciting
how
can
I
it get?
felt. Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
how thrilling do you really want this man to be?
Right.
It's trivia.
Right. I just think it would have been dope to see, a person of color up there. But I know they also had the neuroscientist from
Mayim
Mhm.
Bialik, aka
yeah, but
Blossom.
she was only going to be on as like special occasion.
Yeah, so they
host.
had cast her for a spin-off of Jeopardy. And so with Richard stepping down, now she's gonna step in the interim to be the host.
right.
Because she was already,
So she's
booked on
securing the
something.
bag.
Yeah.
Because the other show that she's on is actually working with Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me tell you about how when you really get this bag,
Yes.
Yeah.
things will work in your favor.
Yep.
Right.
So I'm happy for her. She's amazing. And she's really
Yeah,
is
she's
a
cool.
neuroscientist too. So I
Yeah.
think that's amazing. I'm
Yeah.
for it.
I'm for it too. I think it'll be cool to have a woman like
Do we-
her.
Do we think that it was too much that he got canceled in that way, though? Like, do you guys think it's getting overboard?
Well, me personally, I don't think cancel. I think cancel culture is a myth. We've always been like this. You
Okay.
support the people you want to support.
Okay.
It's just that now we have social media where you can hear everybody's thoughts at once.
That's true.
Where, you've always been taught, if you don't like something, don't spend your money there. And I think people have always done that. So
Yeah.
I think it's good that there's accountability and there's consequences to your actions. And so it will get into your bag, but you can bounce back, because if you just keep moving forward, you move forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like I said, I'm not like a fan of the guys or anything like that. I just think I heard the things that he said and I was just like, okay, just how I thought about with the governor of New York.
Right.
I'm like, okay, but I don't know if that's just me being naive or that's my own conditioning to think that these things are okay, or we just had
I
another
feel you
special
guys.
guest
I
that just walked in.
But I feel you on that. Like, it's like one of those things. Like, he removed himself.
Eventually,
Eventually.
with fight.
But I just, for certain things, I'm like, everybody's learning. So it's like when these things are happening, I'm just like, oh, I'm good. I'm glad to know we're all being educated at the same time. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think I don't know. I just think there has to be a line
Yeah.
at some point.
I mean, do you think he should have kept his job?
executive producer? Like, okay, if he wasn't going to be the host, but who even knew he was the executive producer
Right.
before
I
now?
didn't know who
Right,
this man
I
was.
didn't
Right.
know. Well, apparently internally it was becoming an issue because
Okay.
who put out Susan Pratt, who's the executive vice president of business and strategy for the two shows, announced
Okay.
the news in a letter to her staff. What it says is, we had hoped that when Mike stepped down from the host position at Jeopardy, it would have minimized the disruption and internal difficulties we have all experienced these last few weeks. But that clearly has not happened. So I'm assuming behind the scenes, things were still going on. Perhaps people were uncomfortable.
Yeah.
We don't know that. We don't know what was going on in those studios. So maybe that's.
I think a lot of people just don't want the association. They don't want to also be canceled.
Yeah.
And I think that sucks. But then I don't know. Y'all help me figure out how I feel about it. 'Cause I'm just so confused.
Well, before we get into any other flashlights, I want to say hi to our new guest. Hey, Marcus.
Hi.
AKA the friend.
I'm the friend.
The friend. Thank
Marcus
you for
is-
joining us.
Marcus is
course.
also very creative. He does lots of creative things. So we'll be happy to get some of his banter in this regard. How do you feel about cancel culture?
It depends on what the situation is. To
Yeah.
be honest with you,
Yeah.
like this whole thing currently now with Lil Nas X posting the picture of.
Oh,
him.
we're getting
We
to
gonna
him.
get to
We're-
that.
We
We
gonna get to
that.
him.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Continue.
We gonna get to him.
We
But
will
in
get to
general, do you think it's an effective thing?
No.
that. Oh,
Okay.
Okay. Mostly because, say, for example, Kanye West. They've been trying to cancel him for years just for the
Mhm.
stuff that he's done, and
It's a microphone condom.
Shout out to the
Protect
protection.
yourselves. Stay strapped, y'all. Work.
but they still continue to follow his music
Exactly.
and still continue to support him.
I think
So-
there's a sector of people that cancel, me being one of them. But
Same.
there's also a sector of people that, they're like, oh no, his creative genius, this, blah, 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 whatever. Take your stance, love who you love, like who you like,
Boom.
cancel who you want.
Right.
Exactly.
But I can agree to a point that, like, cancel culture, like you said, it's more of a myth. Like, it's like, okay, a group of people are going to cancel you,
Right.
but you're not necessarily done.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
now these people know that they're being canceled. I think
Right.
to your point, Dustin, you were saying, okay, well, people were probably already canceling said person, this person, and that person. But now the actual person that's being canceled is
Can feel
on.
it.
They can feel it now. They
Yeah.
see it now. I know I talked about Chrissy Teigen before, and her little whining on social media, talking about how she's so lonely and at home. And yeah, I'm glad she can feel it.
Right.
I'm glad they can feel it. But is it effective? Like you said,
Right.
we'll
Right.
see. We'll
Yeah.
see. Because y'all sure is repping that Donda. I'm glad somebody else brought up Kanye today because I wasn't going to.
Right. Especially in reference to Chrisette Michelle, right?
Oh, I saw that tweet.
Yeah. And so it's like when you have Kanye who wore the MAGA hat, who
Right.
it was doing all these, said slavery was a choice,
Right.
all these things, and then has an album and people support it. And you were like, why can't we support Chrisette, who was just getting a job?
Right. And she spoke out about that. So
Yeah.
I do I think she should come out of? Yes.
Yeah.
I think she should
Absolutely.
be out of cancel.
If
cancel
if
jail
if
right
he can, why can't she? Like,
But then also, it's like, why aren't we so like? A lot of us feel the same, but I think Kanye's art has people. It draws people in. I think
now. True.
if Chrisette dropped it, just keep going. That's
Yeah.
the thing. It's
Yeah.
like you saying your point to Chrissy Teigen. She stayed. She could feel it, and she stayed home.
And she
Where
stayed
some
relevant.
people feel it for a minute and then they continue to do whatever they do, and people support. She still has millions of followers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like, why are you feeling you feel the effects of your cancel, except you still have support and you're not moving in
Right.
that energy.
And I think it's about the response, because with Chrisette
Mhm.
Michelle, she was very, she had a lot of animosity towards it,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
and she talked about it constantly. And I know she felt it. I know it hit her pockets. I know it hit her
Yeah.
dollars.
mhm.
But, you know, with Kanye just ignored it,
Yeah.
you know, and he kept doing his thing. Now, of course, Kanye is on a different level in terms
True.
of, you know, the amount of following that he has. But, you know, with Chrissy, she just kept doing her thing and she acknowledged it, but she
Yeah.
didn't fight it.
Yeah.
So I think that matters as well. But I mean, if you really don't think you did anything wrong, why wouldn't you want to defend yourself?
Truly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
On to some nicer, fun news. Shout out to Nia DaCosta as being the first Black female
Yeah.
director to debut at #1 at the box office. According to NPR, the closest person to do the same was Ava DuVernay with A Wrinkle in Time. She got close. She came at a #2.
That was also a good movie.
But Nia DaCosta, man, Candyman, listen, 22 million at the box office.
It's great.
Impressive.
It's
I
incredible.
just don't watch scary movies. So,
My spirit.
you know, us millennials and Candyman have a real different relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
1000%.
Between him and Freddy Krueger, we just.
Although I heard it wasn't as scary as people were making it out to be.
Well, it's not bloody and gory, but for me, the psychological stuff is what
Yeah.
gets me.
Yeah.
You know, like, no, I don't like the blood and kill you, stab you, all that stuff. But the
Mhm.
psychological stuff, I will be at home not looking at no mirrors. For like
I
a
mean,
week.
I want to watch it just for Yaya. Yeah.
Shout out to Yaya,
Same.
Oakland. Let's do it.
Whew. Yes.
Yeah.
But congratulations, Nia. She absolutely deserving. She's such a talented woman. And I'd love to see more of her. And actually, she is the new director. Well, not the new director. It was announced a while ago, but she's the director for The Marvels, which
Yeah.
is Captain
Oh,
Marvel's
yeah.
sequel.
That's cool.
Which is in production right now. And I think she even mentioned how she was really excited about that. And what I read was that it was really exciting for her going from horror to action.
Mm.
And so just that the dynamic that she was like, both were exciting, but the action's less traumatic.
Right.
Which was funny.
Man.
So
Well, we
yeah.
can definitely, hopefully, we see a little bit of that in her directing with Marvel. I'm super excited because that actually Captain Marvel is going to be dope.
Yeah.
Just the women, the Black
Mhm.
women, the
Yep.
representation.
Because it's Captain Marvel, it's Monica Rambeau, and it's Miss Marvel.
right.
And then there's also an Asian I think they're keeping it under wraps, but I think there's an Asian hero that they're bringing on that is a part of another team that I think they're going to introduce later into the MCU.
Okay.
But with this film, Nia's also the first Black woman to direct at the helm of a Marvel movie too.
That's
So she's
awesome.
made history twice
Let's
this
get that
year.
woman an applause.
Like,
Let's
I mean,
go ahead, girl.
Yeah.
I hope to work with you one day.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's
So
amazing.
that's incredible, and I mean, shout out to Nia, girl. I'm gonna look at you soon. Okay, so Sharik, I'm not too particularly versed in this next topic, but you talk to me about this. Give me the tea.
Okay, so as you all know, we mentioned Kanye dropped his album Donda. Finally, after months and months of speculation and anticipation, and he made a few people upset,
Oh yeah.
including your boy Draco, aka Soldier Boy, aka I Did It First Everything. And shout out to everybody who I work with on his past few music videos. He's a pleasure. Yeah. So, so Soldier Boy is upset. Chris Brown is upset because apparently they did not get a
Feature?
spot on the album that they were promised. They actually went and recorded the songs. Soldier Boy actually put out the text message between him and Kanye, where Kanye basically gassed him up and said, "Hey, come to Atlanta. I want to do this song with you." Yada yada yada.
Interesting.
And then the song was not put onto the album. Soldier Boy said, "Hey, that could have been a phone conversation. It was my birthday. I'm working on an album as well. Like, it could have just been as easy as you letting me know what was up."
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know. In the other situations, I'm not sure. I know Jazzy Faye had posted on his Instagram. He actually posted the song that him and Kanye did, which was a dope song, but for whatever reason, that didn't make the cut either.
Yeah.
Chris Brown, he always mad, so we get it. I don't even know why he would even do a song with Chris, because he talked about him so bad after the Rihanna situation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't even see that happening. But
Well, maybe the controversy behind that would have been like,
Yeah.
waves or whatever.
yeah.
But what's the beef with Drake?
So they've already had this outstanding beef from, a couple of years back.
Okay.
So apparently, album sales and albums coming out, there's always going to be this competition.
Right.
Why there's this competition specifically in hip hop, that's probably another conversation that we have to talk about, because
Yeah.
I don't see, other demographics beefing, so to speak, based upon, what
Sales,
music and
yeah.
sales and things like that. It's just a part of hip hop culture, and we really need to
Wait,
investigate
nope.
that.
I
Who be
challenge
beefing?
that. Not necessarily the artists. Well, no, they do. They haven't liked each other. But
Talk
I mean,
about
Madonna and Janet
Bryant.
Jackson.
Oh,
Oh,
Lizzo tweeted that
I saw that.
Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson were the king and queen
Queen
of
of
pop,
pop.
and Madonna's fans went crazy, and they were like, "No, Madonna's the queen, and the
But
numbers
did
don't
Madonna say
lie."
something?
No, Madonna didn't say
it's
anything.
more
No,
between Madonna and Mariah. I think.
Yeah, they
don't
definitely don't like each other.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
They
hate-
definitely do.
yeah.
but Madonna and Janet have had like an underlying beef since
Yeah.
like the very early '90s. But I mean, I don't think
But they're not
addressed
making
it
like
themselves.
diss tracks
No,
about
they're
each
not.
other.
No.
That's what
No.
I'm saying. Like, for whatever reason, in our hip hop culture, it's built on
You're
beef,
right.
and putting it out there, and that's just been the dynamic of hip hop.
Yeah.
So Drake, as you guys know, is probably dropping an album pretty soon too. And what your man's is doing billboards in every town now. Where one person that he has featured on that particular song,
Yeah.
he's shouting them out. So I saw one specifically for an artist in Vallejo. He said, "Hey, Vallejo," I forget the young man's name, that rapper's name, but he said he is featured on the album. CL.
Oh, their hometown.
In their hometowns.
Wow.
That's dope.
Billboards.
That's
so
cool.
of course we all think that this is in response to people being upset that
Kanye's getting
Kanye
omitting
taking people off the album. So he's like, I'm showing respect. It's the petty for me, Drake.
It is.
It's the petty. So, I just think it's creative.
It is.
I think I'm probably more excited for Drake's album than I listened to a little bit to Kanye's. It was like, I actually like some of the songs that he didn't put on the album better than the ones that he did. But we'll see. We'll see how the drama unfolds. But I definitely would like to have that conversation about hip hop in general.
I feel like Kanye dropped the most okayest album this year.
What do the kids call it? Mid? I've been seeing the kids call it
Yeah,
mid.
it's
This is
just-
such a mid album.
Yeah, it was just
A mid album.
That's what the kids say
it's
now. Mid.
underwhelming. It was fine. Like there's aspects where like, wow, creative. I do think it was creative. The release and the way he released it was very creative and innovative. That's great. But when I listened to the music, like just sat with the music, I was just like, nothing was crazy impressive. Where I'm used to Kanye, like really like, wow, the wordplay or something, or the beats or something. And it was just okay. It wasn't bad, but yeah, underwhelming to me.
I did see somewhere online about just rating his entire album, and they would say they rated it as a 6, but they also rated Peppa Pig's album. So tell me why it was a 6.5.
Peppa. And Peppa be petty too.
She is petty boots, and we can't deny that. Like, I want to know who is writing episodes for Peppa, because they sprinkle the petty for the adults that are watching.
Yes.
I know it.
That's crazy.
I know
That's
it.
so crazy. But I mean, do you feel like these artists are valid in being upset that they aren't featured on the album? Because at first, when I first saw it, I'm like, okay, here goes Soulja Boy complaining again. Like, why are you on Kanye's nuts? Like, why do you care? Something like me? Okay, you didn't put me on the album. Whatever, do your thing. Like, I wouldn't be gassing it up that much. But,
Well, I mean, depending on the conversations, I mean, if you were promised something,
right,
and then that doesn't come to fruition, I guess I could see why people would be upset.
But also know the artist. You know this guy.
Mhm.
You know, what would you expect from Kanye?
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would be like, I know what I'm getting, and my response would have been the same as yours. I'm like, okay, he didn't put me on.
right.
You know,
I'm not going to give him more notoriety by talking
Right.
about him so much. Because I know if somebody invites me to a shoot, or we have plans to do something in production, and then all of a sudden I'm excluded and not told about it, I can, you don't know what I moved around for this situation, what other opportunities I may have said no to, so on and so forth. So not having that communication is upsetting. I'd reach out to that person directly, me personally, but I don't think I would just like blast them like
No.
that. But
Yeah.
it's Soldier Boy.
Right. And it's
So,
hip hop, right?
It's hip hop.
Soldier Boy, tell 'em.
It's hip hop. So we will have that conversation. I think that's something we need to look into is,
Mhm.
why is there so much, why is hip hop built on beef
Yeah,
the way that it is? And for so long, for 30, 40
for
plus
so
years.
long, for so long, especially with women.
Yeah.
They love to pin the women against each other.
Yeah. So speaking of women pitting against each other.
Well, this ain't hip hop, but Rose McGowan, actress Rose McGowan, most notably known for her role on Charmed. But she's
Mhm.
a very outspoken Me Too activist. But she's calling out Oprah Winfrey for being, quote, fake as they come. So E News is reporting that Rose McGowan, the actress spoke out about her mistrust from Oprah in a tweet where she included a photo of Oprah kissing the disgraced producer Harvey Weinstein on the cheek. The picture was taken back in 2014 at the Critics' Choice Movie Awards.
Before all the allegations.
Yes. But what she wrote on the tweet was, she said, I am glad more are seeing the ugly truth of Oprah. I wish she were real, but she isn't. From being pals with Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come. Hashtag lizard.
Ooh.
Ouch.
She came for Auntie.
She did. She
really
came
did.
for Oprah. I am not particularly a fan of Rose. I do think she be capping a lot.
She do.
However, I do see some truth to this tweet. Oprah has yet to really say anything disparaging about Weinstein. I mean, she's
Mhm.
kind of held on to the fact that he's her friend.
Mhm.
And she's even said that she didn't know about the activity or allegations that were made
Yeah.
towards him. And so I'm wondering, I was just telling Dustin this on the way here. I was like, if you want to go down the conspiracy theory route, my thing is, if you want to go that route, what is it that he has on her?
Right.
Other than she got a bag from him, multiple bags from the Weinstein Company. And that, I think that's pretty much in essence what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think, that all these celebrities and politicians are eating kids in a pizza parlor or anything
Right.
like that.
No.
But I think as much as I love Oprah and have modeled my career after hers, this is probably the one thing about her that does put a stain in my heart, specifically because of how she came after Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Exactly.
thought her doing that whole, I didn't watch it, I was disgusted by it, but her doing that whole special, and it just was, I don't know, it just was it was weird. It seemed out of character for her.
Yeah.
And the fact that she went so hard on this black man, and then here you have this white man who's an executive, and okay, he put a couple dollars in your pocket.
Yeah.
It, it does.
And she went
raise
just
some
as
eyebrows.
hard on Russell Simmons too,
That is
to the
true.
point where she was even going to executive produce the documentary that was going to come out about the victims and stuff or whatever. Like, she was going so hard.
Mhm.
So why can't you go that hard on Weinstein? Like,
Mhm.
it's like, what do you feel you owe him? Just when someone's wrong, someone's wrong.
Right.
Right. I think, well, what do you do? Say they were close,
Mhm.
like, and think about your friendships. Like,
Mhm.
what if you were really close to someone and you found out they did all these things?
How objective can you be?
Yeah, it's like maybe I'm not trying to give her a pass, but I'm thinking like of my own like my own lives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I know of people who have done dirty, and I'm like, I will tell them to their face.
Yeah.
But do I need to be an advocate of, like, because of the
other-
relationship? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, maybe there's something there between them that were like, I respect our friendship and I don't condone what you did, but I also probably won't go on the
Campaign against you.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it does look bad.
I've
That's what I
done it.
will say.
Yeah.
I've done it. I mean, but it had to have been something extreme. And I think there has been, in my case, 2 instances where, like, I've confronted the friend, things came up, I know what you did, this was wrong, how are you going to show ownership?
Right.
In those 2 instances, those friends of mine who were very close defended their actions, didn't take ownership, were unapologetic.
Mm-hmm.
and I just couldn't get with it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I ended the relationship. I ended the friendships.
But do you go on a campaign trail against them?
Right.
That's the question.
I
Because
went on a campaign trail against one.
Okay.
And I'm just being honest, but mainly because it wasn't just me who was affected, it was a number of people affected. And I
Mhm.
said, well, if you about to come for all these people like this, well, I'm gonna just let it know. Well, this was said, this
Right.
was said. Yeah, I put it in a group chat, like,
Mhm.
but-
Definitely.
is that the same thing? Is it?
But I mean,
I mean, you said
I
the
mean,
group
I'm
chat.
living for this, so
You said the
in-
group chat.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
in your bubble. That's what it is. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So I mean, I do think she's so prominent of a woman and such a leader
Mm-hmm.
that it's like maybe that's your responsibility as the place you are as someone who's like I'm a life. Basically, she has magazines like she's a life coach and like
Yeah.
So let's
influence.
Super Soul Sundays.
let's be realistic about this too. This is
Okay.
what's probably going to happen because Oprah is about her bag.
Mhm.
At some point in the future, it may not be the near future, it may be some a decade or so from now, Oprah's going to talk about this.
Mhm.
And it's going to get so many ratings.
It's gonna be
so
a
many views. It's
special
going to be a
and-
huge special.
Yeah.
She might even go to the jail and interview the man in person. You know,
Yeah.
so we never know what might happen. Oh, we lost one of our feeds, but we still got you guys on the audio.
What happened to the feed?
I don't know.
Oh no.
It kicked y'all out. I don't know why. But y'all still there. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, Oprah's gonna get her back, and we'll see later what happens.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that ends up being the case.
Yeah.
That ends up being the case. Okay, so next up, Chloe Bailey, one
Hey,
half
her.
of Chloe and Halle, not Chloe by Halle, even though there's an X in the middle of their names, but whatever. She has announced a release date for her very first single as a solo artist. The song is called Have Mercy and will be the first single from her yet untitled debut solo album that is, quote, 90% done.
Mm.
Hot New Hip Hop is reporting that the album is okay. The single is coming out September 10th, and it's coming out right before her performance at the VMAs. Which I mean, that's huge for her.
big.
By
Like
Yeah.
as a
herself.
solo artist, like
Yeah.
all right, cool, come on, Beyonce.
That's a lot of hype, for your
Yes.
first single.
Yeah.
Is she performing solo? Act?
Yes,
Oh.
as a solo act. Yes.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a big deal.
Chloe and
Yeah.
Haley are doing. I mean, Haley's got the Little Mermaid. Chloe's on this. Like they're both doing things, but they're also both very supportive of each other.
Yeah.
I like this. I
Yeah.
like that they're exploring both of their talents individually and doing things. I think that's a really cool thing.
I'm
I
on
agree.
I'm on board with it because I feel like even like their laters, like the end of that album that just came out. I mean, I feel like Chloe, you can start seeing the difference between them,
Yeah.
even in performance.
Yeah.
Like they're going two different lanes, and you can
Yeah.
kind of see it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
happen on that last album, which is
Yeah.
good. I think
Chloe even said that her album is definitely more pop than her typical output.
Hmm.
Like because they're more like
R&B.
R&B.
right.
But
Yeah.
she wants her project to be more pop than anything.
Mhm.
So that's what she told in an interview to Billboard. I love it. I love both of them. I'm excited for this single. I can't wait to hear
I'm
it.
excited for Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very excited for
So
that.
shout out to both of the Bailey sisters doing their thing.
Hey. Okay, I'm ready to talk about this. I've been waiting all night. I'm so ready to talk about this.
Okay. Lil Nas X. He's expecting a baby. Y'all, when I saw this, okay, so for those of you who don't know, People Magazine released, quote, exclusive photos of Lil Nas X's pregnancy photo. I mean, from the full, like, flower crown, he had, like, the baby bump.
stomach.
The stomach was out, honey, and he's pregnant.
Poses.
Full term.
Yeah, full term, and he's having a baby on September 17th. The baby actually being his album Montero.
Mhm.
What the thing I think is genius. I think it's hilarious. It's funny. I think this is great. However, social media and of course society is in an uproar about it because here come the folks talking about, well, what am I going to tell my kids? And they're trying to create what they're. Here he goes pushing the gay agenda again, and this is all these other things when it's like, guys, it's just a joke. Like, you know how when you do a project of anything and you say, "Oh, that's my baby," people
Mm.
say that all the
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Sharik, this show is our baby. He displayed it in a literal sense, and I think we shouldn't be that naive to think that he's trying to push some form of agenda. No, he's just having a baby, which is
Right.
his album, and it's
Mhm.
just funny to me how. It's just funny to me how how cisgendered hetero folks are always so mad at the queers. Like it just
Truly.
I've even seen, because I'm in some groups on Facebook, and I've even seen the queers, having
yeah,
having
they're
all
saying
these
that he's
little panic attacks and things
yeah.
too. So I just
Part of me, it feels like at a certain point, backlash will get old and tired.
Exactly.
Like I feel like we're in a point in the culture where social media is having its like climax,
hmm
and then it's like, of course, there's going to be groups of people that don't like everything,
Mhm.
and I feel like we'll grow tired of even discussing. If you like it, support it. If you don't, you turn the page, and that's been everything, but like this should be just laughable. I don't understand why there's an uproar. It should just be funny and we move on.
And
Yeah.
let's not forget that the Cosby Show, they did a whole episode on pregnant men, and
Full House did it too.
like,
Mm.
so where was the uproar back then?
And
Yeah.
what was that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah,
And-
that's true.
Yeah. So I mean, I think people are not realizing by responding the way that they're responding, they're doing exactly what he wants them to
Exactly.
do, which is
Mhm.
giving him more publicity.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
And
exactly
that's what shock
what he
value
wants.
is
He's
for.
Because
a marketing genius.
he is a market. He's a troll on purpose.
Yes.
Like
Right.
he knows what. Like I tweeted something. What I tweeted was, I was like, it's like he likes to play in y'all's faces because everything you say he can or can't do or can't be, he says, "Watch me."
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're creating their own horror story with him. Like the
Mm,
things
that's a
that they're
good one.
mad at, the things that they're scared about, he'll play on that and make it in his art, and then it's genius.
Do you guys think there is a level that's too far? Do you think there is such thing as going too far?
Well,
Maybe, but to me, this ain't it.
Okay.
Eminem went too far back then. Like back then,
Yeah.
there's no envelope he did not push
He pushed
besides the gay.
Mhm.
Like he was murdering his mom and his girlfriend and put it
Mhm.
like Eminem. I don't know, they would try to cancel him, but like to me, he pushed the worst envelopes
Yeah.
you could.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's definitely some going too far for
And then you
sure.
had your Marilyn Manson.
Mhm.
And he was
Yeah.
all kind of everything in a can of grits.
Yes.
Like he was
Yeah.
doing it all. So yeah, I think, shout out to him. It's not my cup of tea personally. I'm not a fan of his music, but I respect, him chasing his bag the way that he is, and he's getting it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
contrary to what you guys may think, the uproar is actually building more
Yeah,
of an esteem
true.
for him. I didn't know about it. I didn't see it until I saw somebody reposting it
Mhm.
with a long book. I didn't even read the book.
Right.
I just looked at I clicked on the post.
Yeah.
So I'm not even paying attention to you and your feelings. I'm looking at what you're talking about. So,
Yeah.
inevitably you're doing the opposite of what you think you're doing.
Yeah.
Express yourself.
Yeah.
Why not? But, I don't know if you're really accomplishing what you set out to accomplish.
I don't know.
By dragging
According to Lil Nas X, he says that making this album has been therapy for him. So, I mean, I can't wait to hear it. Although I will say, like, I'm a fan of Lil Nas X, but I'm not necessarily a fan of his music.
Mhm.
I've listened to something totally different, but what he's doing and how he's doing it, I'm here for it. He has my attention in that aspect,
Right.
And so, and I love the cover art to the album. I want to have it just for the cover art because it's that
Right.
pretty. But shout out to him. I feel like Lil Nas X is only doing things that queer artists were never able to do before, that straight artists have been able to do forever without
Yeah.
people batting an eye. Like, yeah,
Right.
sure, it's an uproar, but then it dies away. But then, like, if somebody of the LGBTQIA experience does it, and then it's something totally different, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, no, this
What
is where
about
we
the
draw the
children?
line. What about the children in a million things? I don't know how you raise your child. I don't have none, but your kids is not my responsibility.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
I remember a while ago when people were discussing Miley Cyrus,
Mhm.
and just I think people were just more so shocked and appalled because she came, like, here's this Disney star that's now twerking on stage with somebody's husband at the MTV Awards, you know,
Mhm.
and she had her moments where she was just wilding out.
Mhm.
And I think people were saying, you know, it's going to get to a point where people don't have any more to give in terms of shock value. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing else that they can give. And then what do? They flip and they become ultra super conservative. We saw it with Nicki Minaj.
Mhm.
We saw it with Miley Cyrus. You
Yeah.
know, she did a complete 180 and came out all buttoned up, and you know, it was a completely different vibe from her. We've seen it with Madonna.
Yeah.
We've seen it with Janet.
Yeah.
You know, where these artists have these moments of self-expression where it's really shocking and you know,
We saw it with Lady
avant-garde.
Gaga too.
We saw it with Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
She was wearing meat dresses, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden she had on suits and short
Yeah.
haircuts and barely wearing makeup. You know, so I think artists go through these different phases where they get that attention. You know,
and
then
I think that's the
they calm
beauty
it
of
down.
artistry, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, and honestly, maybe the most important when it comes to Lil Nas X, because it's like if I push it so far, then regular gay people could just do normal stuff.
Mhm.
Like if I do extreme, I have pushed it so they are desensitized by just normal life of
Yeah.
LGBTQ. You know?
Yeah, normalizing our lifestyles, because that's
Yeah.
ultimately what we just want. I just
Yeah.
want to be able to walk normally in this world and not be like seen as a target, like, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the gay agenda. Like, what exactly is it?
Child.
Like,
That's a good point.
Child, I'm like, shoot. Well, y'all got a straight agenda, because
right.
I've seen nothing but hetero sex on TVs, that it didn't make me straight.
But it is it is a straight agenda. Like if you
Yeah,
think about
there is.
the patriarch, like how our even our government is on white supremacy, like
Mhm.
all that feeds into an agenda. They want people to be a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
one thing we didn't bring up was actually what's going on in Texas with
Oh,
the,
yeah.
with
Yes.
the abortion
Yeah.
law that is currently at the moment. I think they did overturn it, or it's still somewhat in limbo, I believe.
Is it?
I
Um,
read that the Supreme Court still hasn't contacted them or
They
gave a
haven't quite
response to it.
decided. And this is what we're talking about in 2021.
Right.
The propensity of Roe v. Wade being
Man.
overturned in Texas.
Mhm.
Okay, when a woman is 6 weeks pregnant, which women don't find out they're pregnant until they're at the
Right.
6 week mark. So it's just alarming that we're still going through these things,
Yeah.
and that these agendas, like you were just saying, are still being pushed, where
Yeah.
you're trying to control people's bodies, people's creativity, so
Mhm.
on and so forth. And that's why it's important for us to have these conversations, go out and vote, and
Yeah.
educate yourselves.
Absolutely.
You know, so I'm going to keep a lookout on that, and you know, obviously as a woman, but it's something for us to really have conversations about.
I
sure.
will say this though, I wasn't surprised at all.
Yeah.
Which is
Because
sad.
right, because you have to look at it like this. What happened in Texas is a direct result of white supremacy and the patriarchy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And how white women put their whiteness over their womanhood.
Mhm.
And as a result, now, you know, just turning a blind eye to the fact that most black and brown women are being killed in hospitals
Mhm.
or
During
having
childbirth.
during childbirth.
Mhm.
And they chose to turn a blind eye to it. So now that this right has been removed and stripped away from them, now they want to say something. But
Mhm.
the evidence has been there. Like
Yeah.
it's always been there.
Yeah.
And rich conservatives will always be able to get abortions. No matter what the
Right.
law is, they can get a private doctor to come to their house and do what they need to do.
Child.
So they have that luxury, but it affects the lower class, black and brown, and that's who's struggling with these laws.
And
Yeah.
the gag is, we talking about Texas, which is a very Republican, you know, state.
Yeah.
They want to go in and tell you can't have no abortion, but they want to say government shouldn't tell us if we should have vaccines. The irony for me, the irony for me, the irony
Tuh.
and the audacity. Y'all
Yeah.
have several seats.
They're so backwards. It's so
It-
backwards.
yeah, so there's definitely this agenda, you know, for
Mhm.
people to live well and prosper on their own terms for themselves, while the little people are struggling beneath them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, so it's disgusting, but whew, we can keep going with these flashlight topics, child.
We really could.
It is
I mean, we
September.
really could.
2021. We are in the final month of the third quarter.
Yeah.
We will soon be entering the fourth quarter of 2021. So I just want to encourage everybody to, you know, keep locked in on your mental.
Yeah.
Woosah. Don't get caught up in all of this craziness that's happening in the world. I know there's another variant that's come out.
Girl,
of-
we ain't gonna get on that.
You know.
She texted me about it, and I'm not gonna say what I said to her, but
It
let's
was
just
hilarious.
say I'm gonna live my life
Okay.
at this
Hey.
point.
I want to thank both of our wonderful guest hosts for coming in today.
Marcus and Dustin, thank you so much for tuning in. Please let our followers know where they can follow you and support you. Dustin.
You can follow me at the Dust in Your Eye on Instagram and
The dust in your eye.
the
I
Dust
like
in
that.
Your Eye, and also Twitter. I also have my photography page, DustinBakerPhotography.com, so you can check out my work there.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's macrophage88.
Spell that.
It's ITS macrophage MARC. No.
No.
Bless.
ITS.
Thank you. PHAGE 88.
Macrophage.
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 He has a whole. He had to explain it to me, but that takes some time. We'll go through that. But thank you both so much for being here. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, who commented, who listened. Feel free to reach out to us and make sure you are following Limelight Live on all your social channels. Also, you know, we have our creative tees. I'm a creative and I'm serious about my ish. If you would like to buy one of our creative shirts, we also have some other really dope ones that are out there on the shop. Make sure you're going over to thelamede.com/shop.
Also, we need an intern.
Yes. So if you are a young college student that you know that we do prefer for them to be current college students. We know the school year just got picked up and got going. I would like to intern and learn how to do some engineering behind the scenes as well as producing. Make sure you reach out to us as well. You can email us at info@lamayday.com
Yep.
or just head over to our website or find us anywhere and just say, hey, I'm interested in interning. Mamas, if you need to get your kids some act right and they in college, send them my way. I can handle it.
Yeah, we got them. We
Yeah.
need them. We need
But again, I am your girl, Shariq LeMay. Follow me at Shariq LeMay. And
I am JPin K. You know what it is. Follow me at JPin Notes on everything. We want to wish you all a safe but fun Labor Day weekend holiday. And just keep tuning in.
yeah, go get it, September.
All right. Love y'all. Bye.
See y'all next time.
I don't know if you step into the limelight.